Born and bred in Tuscaloosa, not raised in Baton Rouge. Didn't ride no wagon train to Norman or to Boone. They said I'd never make it, just a name they overlook. Now I'm burning up their game plans and ripping up their books. No 5-star shine, no silver spoon. I came up grinding on the Friday night moons. Now they feel me coming like a 4th down blitz. Got 'em talking sideways, throwing fits. But I must admit, I can't quit, 'cause I'm the outlaw.
It's another great day in the college football neighborhood, and here they come riding in once again. It's the Outlaw Posse, now in effect. That's you guys and gals out there, you know, the home of the Common Joe and the Common Sally in the know, even more so than all the media talking heads. That's us, because it's the truth. And I always like to give kudos to my listeners and those in the Outlaw Posse, all the college football Common Joes and Sallys who put us in the know and know what they're talking about 80% of the time, because we all said during the offseason that this whole Bill Belichick thing was a cluster F waiting to happen. And sure enough, boom shakalaka boom, already is exploding. Numerous outlets and podcasters are talking about it today that Bill Belichick, the guy's been known to set records and do stuff that other people have never done before, but this may be in a futile type way, some futility coming his way. You know, everybody's bragged on him and said, hey, this was a great hire by North Carolina. He's a big-time Super Bowl winning coach and won 6 Super Bowls. But we all know deep down inside, I know a lot of people don't like Tom Brady, but Bill Belichick never won anything without Tom Brady. Now we're seeing why. The guy is just very petty and oblivious, in my opinion, to his surroundings. This hire by North Carolina was red flags in so many ways, and I just don't understand it. You got people in the high administrative levels are supposed to be really smart people and business people, and they hired Bill Belichick to replace Mac Brown. They say Mac Brown, that the game had passed him by, that he was just too old. And yet, if I'm not mistaken, I think Bill Belichick is a year or two older. The AD at North Carolina is probably grinning from ear to ear because, from what I understand from numerous sources, he wasn't even included really in the mix as far as hiring. He was just there to rubber stamp. There were some higher-ups in the administration, which is always problematic and very dangerous when you let these book-smart people get involved in doing common sense things. And now that AD is starting to look pretty good as far as him saying some of the stuff he supposedly said and his apprehension about bringing Bill Belichick in. Bill Belichick, a lot of people will try to compare him to Nick Saban going to the NFL, but that's not a real good comparison because Nick Saban had already been a successful head coach at the college level. And he actually wasn't terribly bad in the NFL, although people will have you believe he was. He was actually a 500 coach. I think he may have even taken Miami to a winning record that year. It might have been 9-7. It might have been 7-9 one year as well, but he wasn't like astronomically bad like Bob Petrino or Steve Spurrier. Nick Saban then went back to college coaching, and people will try to compare that with him and Bill Belichick, but he was still very young. He was like 54 or 55 when he come back to Alabama. The big difference is Bill Belichick had never, ever been a head coach at the college level. I'm not even sure if he ever done any assistant work at the college level. So, you know, Nick Saban had actually worked in the NFL before he went into college football. So it's a big difference, especially coming in at his age, being a first-time college coach where you need enthusiasm and a little bit of young blood, at least be in your 50s if you're going to take your first head college football coaching job. But I got some clips I want to bring up and share with y'all and get y'all's reaction to them because it's some of the stuff that we were already saying and some of the stuff that we already believed. Now, this is the Ruffino and Joe show. I may be mispronouncing his last name, but it's a pretty good show. Y'all check them out and subscribe to their channel. I'm going to play the first few seconds of this, then I'm going to fast forward it to the 250 mark.
Joe, there's some news coming out of North Carolina today that apparently Bill Belichick might not even make it halfway through the season, as there's already conversations of a buyout for Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Number one, are you even remotely shocked? No, because we talked about that in the preseason of either this one's going to go really good or really bad. There was no real in-between here. But it looks as if the talks, and even Bill Belichick giving $1 million for own buyout per sourcing, and I forget the gentleman's name who reported this.
Ollie Connolly from Read Optional.
Okay, Ollie reported this. So, Joe, what do you make of this? Look, I don't know the gentleman, so I don't know how true it is. But Pete Nakos is also saying, along with Inside Tar Heels, it's kind of a lot of the same stuff that's being out there right now. What do you make of this Bill Belichick news that he might not even make it halfway through the season here?
So, stop it right there for a second. Like I said, Bill Belichick has a way of setting records sometimes that's a little futile. I've never heard of anybody trying to buy themselves out of a contract. It must be really bad if he don't want to stay the entire year and get fired and get the buyout. I would definitely want to stay the entire year and get the buyout. I've never heard, ever heard of anybody buying out their own contract. That takes the cake, Bill. I got to give it to you, man. When you make a splash, you make a big one. Just like with your 24-year-old or 25-year-old girlfriend, however old she was. Man, I've seen funny memes out there of Bill Belichick winning his first Super Bowl, and he's like 50 years old, and she's in a crib. That kind of deal. So he's good at making a big splash. I'll give him that. But here lately, it's just not a good splash. He's, in my opinion, he's really tarnishing his image. He should never came to the college game at all. All right, let's move on into the video here and get your reaction on this, you guys.
Joe, 59 of the 112 pictures that were taken in last week's game with North Carolina was to Jordan, his girlfriend. He's made this a circus. Like, he's made this an outright circus in the sense of she's on the sidelines giving him kisses, long-formed kisses before a football game. And it's not like that she's standing behind a rope and he goes and greets her and says, hey, love you. And she says, have a good game. It's not that. She's walking the sidelines. I got to be real with you. This is tarnishing his legacy by those simple actions to me. Like, listen, man, I get it. She's 40 years younger than you. You had already won multiple Super Bowls by the time that she wasn't even born yet. I get it. Everybody gets it. Actually, you might be 50 years older than her. But, Joe, I just got to call it like I see it. They allowed him to run this circus, and you're paying the price for it. North Carolina has got to start being serious about football because basketball is not going to pay the bills like that. And all of these teams that are so basketball focused, Kentucky, Arkansas at the current moment, North Carolina, Duke, maybe they pay the bills that you want. And maybe that's where you get a lot of your revenue. It's not where your TV revenue is coming from, brother. It's not where it's coming from. So you're in an era right now where TV revenue and the share of TV revenue that you give players is king. I mean, Joe, we're seeing kids around the country shut down recruitments. You want to know why? For the first time ever, they're shutting down recruitments in October because they're signing contracts, brother.
But that last little part right there was a little bonus nugget that I wasn't really aware of, that I didn't really think of. But, yeah, players are shutting their recruiting down in October now because they're getting contracts. And you would think Bill Belichick might be he's used to that kind of stuff. But the real thing that struck me here in that last little segment was the fact that he's taken all those pictures. What do they say, like 50 or 60 pictures or something of his girlfriend or with his girlfriend during the game that has nothing to do with the football game. You got her walking up and down the sidelines like she's some kind of, I don't know, analyst or something. Come on, man. And it's okay to be proud of your girlfriend and stuff, but I mean, do you really have to keep her on the sidelines? Are you that worried, Bill, that she might be, sleeping around or something on the side while you're coaching a football game? I mean, it sort of you didn't see Nick Saban's wife down there on the field all the time, or Steve Spurrier's wife, anybody like that. It's like you're very insecure about where this woman is, or maybe she just wants to be down there. That's probably what it is. That's probably the case. She's so young that she just wants the attention. Well, the attention whorism that's going on, Bill, with you and your much, much, much younger girlfriend is destroying the North Carolina program. The North Carolina people are letting it happen. The higher administration people that really don't know anything about athletics, they got book sense and no common sense, as I said before. That's why you're not the athletic director. Y'all need to let your athletic director do his job. Y'all kind of had numerous great coaches just a few years ago or last year where there wasn't really no big jobs came open. Now this year, if you get rid of Bill Belichick at some point, you got to compete with Arkansas, UCLA, even Stanford is putting up money with Andrew Luck. They said that's putting up millions of dollars to towards their football program. I mean, you got numerous big name schools that jobs may come open. Florida, Auburn. You're going to be competing against some big time schools. And if you continue to crap the bed in football, your audition to try to be in the SEC may not go as well as you want it to, because everybody says that, UNC is the program that the Big Ten and the SEC both want. But will they want it if you show a complete lack of being able to run an athletic program where the biggest moneymaker is a clown show? I don't think so. Now, this next clip I want y'all to watch, and I want to get your reaction to this because this expounds on exactly what we've been talking about the whole offseason. It's just these podcasts now and these talking heads think they suddenly had the epiphany and they're educating all of us. Although I do like this show.
Here to be an outright complete circus from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think you put it very strongly there that last year, if they handled this hire differently and they hired a coach, which they were exploring options. I believe Summerall was in the mix, who's the Tulane head coach. Matt Campbell, who's at Iowa State, was one of the coaches that they were considering. They would have been able to go and hire an up-and-comer, one of these guys that's transformed the G5 program to take this team to another level. But instead, they allowed for this whole, and there's been a lot of reporting on, and I believe there's even some sort of a lawsuit related with the hiring process where it wasn't allowed to be like a real coherent decision. And Keegan pointed out in one of his tweets I saw earlier today that last year they would have been at the top, or if not were at the top of the available jobs. It was a rare year where there were not many big jobs open because you had Billy Napier. Billy Napier stuck around. Well, North Carolina was literally the biggest job.
As he said, backing up a little bit about the lawsuit and stuff, that just goes to show you what we were saying is absolutely true. The administration, the people that have no inclination towards athletics and how to handle an athletic department got involved in the situation and hired the coach over the AD's wants and desires. If you're going to hire an athletic director, let the athletic director do his job.
What was the other big job that was even open? That was primary. We didn't cover. There were no other SEC jobs that came open. There weren't many Big Ten jobs. The North Carolina job was the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And now, with all the resources that they had, they're going to be at the bottom of the list because there's now a chance for Arkansas, Florida. Who knows what happens with James Franklin? Auburn could be open. Virginia Tech is not far off from North Carolina in terms of the money that they just announced they're committing. UCLA is also a big brand. There's a lot of competition now.
Stanford. I mean,
they just announced a commitment financially to.
I mean, and by the way, Andrew Luck, did you see his announcement after the donation? Hey, we're giving majority of this TV revenue to football.
Blake, they missed the boat.
Exactly. And that gives an all new meaning to the old catchphrase of all that book sense and no common sense. And that's what happened here with North Carolina. All the book sense and no common sense got involved in the situation, wanting to make a big splashy hire, not thinking about the ramifications that could come along with the fact that the guy's probably way too old to start over in college football. Let's go and give a huge shout out to past sponsors and those that are donating to the show heavily right now to help me curb the censorship that is going on to help keep the lights on with this show. First, we got McFab LLC right here. As you can see, this powder coated signage that was sent to me by McFab LLC, laser clean powder coated signage, Matt McWilliams 21 at yahoo.com. You'll see his stuff coming across the screen down here as well as his phone number. Then we have Moe's Woodsmith Shop, as you can see behind me. That's the cutting board that he made for the program. It's got an Alabama emblem on it as well as an Oklahoma and the outlaw of college football image with the OCF. Also, he made this for me. He can put anything on a piece of board, no matter what you want. This is an image of Donald Trump raising his fist in the air after they tried to take him out. Also on the back, it is me and my wife, Jesse and Kathy. So, yeah, if you want any kind of powder-coated signage from McFab LLC and anything put on the cutting board, y'all check those guys out in the scroll down there. And the people that have been donating to the show and been helping us keep the lights on are Heath Stokes, Ryan Neese, Tim Gillespie, and Jerry Hawley have been donating heavily to the show this month. I appreciate the hell of those guys. And once again, if y'all want to donate to the show as well, there's the money $ JPC316 Cash App as well as Venmo JPC316. But you guys and gals, drop it in the comment section. Tell me what you think about all that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. As I said before, if you want to donate to this program, money $ JPC316 is the bottom of the screen. I'm also on Venmo under JPC316. We're having to take donations that way because they demonetized my channel to December 14th because I reshared a bunch of Charlie Kirk TikTok videos in my short section. And yeah, I'm going to keep talking about it because they shouldn't have done that. So I'm just going to keep expounding on it. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.